I think you should.
Okay.
I think let's explain how we got here.
Let's all do it all at the same time.
Welcome to our first episode. Has not been named yet. They'll know the name based on what it's titled, but first off, we'll start with a little introduction. I can start. My name is Eric Lachey, and I'm the creative director of Carbon Stories. Carbon Stories is a local creative agency in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We work on content from photos, video, to graphic design.
My name is Vincent McIntosh. I'm CEO of Irie Kitchen. We're a Caribbean restaurant based in Grand Rapids, focusing on making good food for the 21st century.
I'm James Fry. I'm the resident creative at Blueprint Collaborative. I'll let Brent talk more about that, but I'm also a freelance photographer and marketing consultant.
And I am Brent Gibson, founder and creator of the Blueprint Collaborative, where we're at today. Big idea rolling around in my head for 4 or 5 years, and main business is Construction Simplified. Really trying to change the commercial construction industry to something more entrepreneurial.
Perfect. I think a little bit of history behind how we got to. Did it stop recording? No, it didn't.
And after I hit my head about 18 times, I finally said, what are these feelings I have, you know? And I started rolling around my head for about 4 years until I put it together. And then I said, I need to create a space that I could get out and be who I want to be in the industry that I'm good at, and figure out how to surround myself with other people that are creative and want to do something better than just a 9 to 5.
This is an example of the conversations that we have, and that's why we decided to have
I
this
didn't even know it was recording.
podcast. Yeah, no, I started recording. Right now, our first episode, we were thinking we kind of discuss the purpose of the talk, and we talk about a name. I've got some ideas, and I'm sure everyone else here does as well. I've got some logo options. That's why I pulled up on my laptop. But kind of give what you guys, your goals for this talk would be, and then we'll talk about the name.
Personally, I think we can reach out to a lot of entrepreneurs, not only locally, but globally. Through a podcast, I think a lot of people who are entrepreneurs are looking for someone to listen to on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. It kind of gives you inspiration, kind of gives you a story background. Everybody knows in this room, being an entrepreneur is probably like the hardest thing you can do, but the best thing you can do. There's a lot of challenges, and learning from other people can help you move faster. And I think in the game of entrepreneurship, moving fast is definitely part of the variable. So like not making the same mistakes as someone like we would make, be able to talk about it with whoever is here can help a lot of entrepreneurs in the future.
I think to build on what Vince said was, I listen to Gary Vee, right? Everyone that claims to be an entrepreneur knows who Gary Vee, whether you like him or you hate him. But it was like, how do we make that more localized? How do we know that, hey, if I want to get a little inspiration to go out and do it in Grand Rapids, Michigan, step in here. Go talk to these guys at Carbon Stories. How do we find that local guys, that there's people, grassroots, willing to leave their 9 to 5, making good money, the house in Hudsonville, all that good stuff, to say, I'm going to do it, because you don't have to be in New York City or LA or Chicago to be an entrepreneur. How do you do it? And here's the local way to do it. And there's people, I think our media coverage locally in Grand Rapids, I'm gonna get on a soapbox here. We pat ourselves on the back in Grand Rapids for being so entrepreneurial. But I don't regularly read stories of guys like you guys, your stories, you guys came in here a couple weeks ago pitching, on what it takes at that moment to start it. And I think that's what will make Grand Rapids great in the next generation. Because we're founded on entrepreneurialism. Amway, right? Gordon's Food, all these Steelcase, that is entrepreneurism. Yeah. We just have to realize that it's big business right now. How do we go back to grassroots?
Yeah. I think the example that we are sitting in right now is kind of the perfect example. Like, we don't even have a name for what this is officially, and we're doing it. And I resonate with that. Like, I'm still figuring out, like, what do I call my James Fry creative industry? Like, I don't know, but I'm just gonna do it. And that, I think, is a big reason why I want to be part of this conversation, because we can inspire other people who have ideas, and maybe they don't have the perfect business plan laid out, or they don't know how to articulate what they want to do, but they have passion, they have goals, they have some ideas jumping around, and we can hopefully inspire others to just jump out and do it. And it's kind of like running while you're trying to put your shoes on.
Yeah.
Eventually you'll get your shoes on while you're running. Just get it done.
I feel like, James, it was perfect I came after you, because that's what I would say, the inspiration aspect. I know that when I grew up in Grand Rapids native, while I was in high school, I was seeing on YouTube or seeing on social media all these other cities that had these cool people doing awesome things, following Casey Neistat, and I also follow Gary Vee. And I'm like, why is that not here in Grand Rapids? But truthfully, on the scale that Grand Rapids is, we do have that. Like, we are those entrepreneurs getting things done, and it's going to be really cool to use this as an avenue to not only inspire, but also inform. Other people don't know that this stuff is going on. Like you said, we found out about this by walking into here, and we're like, you're changing the construction industry. Like, you're changing what it is to be a freelancer. You're actually going out and do it here in the city. We don't know many people who are doing that. And so being able to share it through media, or whether that be through the audio, whether that be through the video, even just the social media posts we do, and also highlighting other people doing the same. There's a lot of cool connections that we have, and there's some. When we were discussing like who to bring on and people that we want to talk with on this project, a lot of us were like, "Oh, I know someone exactly who could fit for this, or someone who could fit for that." So it's going to be cool to hear their perspective as well.
Yeah.
Name options. What were you guys thinking? Did anybody have any?
Well, where did it start, right?
Yeah.
So you guys came up, you're like, we renovated a garage just like you got, right? So we started coming up with this garage idea. And it also ties in great with entrepreneur. I mean, how many entrepreneurs start out of their garage, right?
Yeah.
Out of their basement. So it all starts feeling, and we started talking about who else has a garage in town. And you start thinking, wow, there's this whole idea around garage entrepreneurs. And then who was it? Vince? Who came up with the name?
I don't remember. Was it you?
I don't know. I'll take it.
See, this
you
is the
know?
problem with
I can say
entrepreneurs.
it's
We're also
fine.
nervous. Like, I don't know. Is it
No,
going to
you
flow?
did it. No.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So I think you said garage talks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been stewing that over a little bit, and I like garage hustle, other than the word hustle in it, because hustle is so overused by a bunch of people that maybe don't know what it means to hustle, right? But I like the idea that it's a cool buzzword, but then again, does it make sense? Because I think the focus is not necessarily on the garage, but it's on the hustle. I've always said, a great friend of mine, Sir Isaac Newton, said, you put energy towards something, you're going to get a reaction, right? That's what entrepreneurialism is about. You push something, you're going to get a reaction, whether it's good or bad, and that's called hustle. Everyone that played sports, hustle, right? You do something, you're going to get a result. That's what I think entrepreneurialism is.
So garage hustle.
That was but it almost sounds like a dance too, a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You know what?
One, two step.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that name, because it is about, yeah, we are in garage spaces, and like the funny thing is a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, the storyline is you start at your garage or your basement, and it's all hustle, right? So I think at first glance people might not like the name, but I think as we continue to grow and like brand it, it's about the garage hustle.
And for me, it's a little deeper. Being in the construction industry, so many people. If you read the great companies that are in our area now, they usually started 2 men in a truck out of a garage, right? Being an electrical company, plumbing company.
I didn't know that.
My idea is to build the space where those two guys who want to be a plumber, I can clear every hurdle with them in this space by having a creative, by having guys that do great video, by having entrepreneurial people around them, so all they can do is focus on what they're good at, and that's being a plumber. And taking away that idea that we got to work out of our garage at night to start a business. How do I create that to take care of the legal issues, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't work out of your garage, come work out of our garage.
Right, and I think that's the idea that attracts us all to these spaces, you know?
Yeah.
Did you just check if that domain was
I
available?
did,
Yeah.
and so for me, it's always like if the .com's available, you know you've got something.
Then it's viable.
Garage. I mean,
Hustle.com.
wait, hold on, let me see.
Yeah, but it's probably some guy that repairs like garage door openers on YouTube.
No,
Yeah.
this one's available. Garage hustle. Am I
Hustle.com.
spelling hustle right? I got a bad.
H-U-S.
I can't spell
You can
well.
misspell it.
Oh, yeah, you're not.
I
That's,
know,
But
Hey,
that's cool,
I
right?
can't,
Throw a
though.
Y in there.
C-L-E. Here we go. Let's not spill this beer in your...
Yeah, I was trying to spell check it and I couldn't do
I
it
can get my
fast
credit
enough.
card.
Ah,
Is .com taken?
You got a sad face. What about the garage hustle? Is that too... I don't know. That's like my default go-to.
It's
Add the
available.
to it.
Can you do garage.hustle?
No, that's not available.
Ooh.
Nobody wants that's.
That'll
Nobody
come
wants to
soon.
type that. Dude.
But the garage hustle is available.
The garage hustle.
And I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Welcome to the garage.
You'd almost think this
hustle.
was scripted. That you guys like my idea.
Okay, well, let's... Yeah, I feel like you guys came with ideas. We don't have to just jump on
No,
this.
But see,
Well,
that's
what
a
was
great
your idea?
entrepreneur, right?
For me,
they
mine
just-
was just the garage talk, but I was thinking more of like how we would lay out the logo. It's like some kind of still needed to be, you know. I'll put this on the screen so you guys can see.
I got you.
Yeah, we should have bought the table like
That's
Vince
all right.
said. This would be some of those came from this. This was what I drew on my iPad. first.
That's right. I
and
remember
it's
that.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like writing random stuff, but then I put it in, and so like something iconic, of course, that we can start out with. Like maybe there'd be some animation with some of it. Every garage was different. I was looking at some pictures of them.
Yeah.
Some of them have the windows up front,
Yeah,
some don't.
yeah.
Garage
But
is
we
such a
could
funny looking
play
word,
off
isn't
of-
it?
Oh yeah, hands down.
You just can't look at it for too long.
Yeah.
But if we put hustle there instead of talk, I feel like it'd be like that box, and
Yeah.
hustle will
It'll
fit longer as
yeah,
well.
Yeah. I kind of like that. That
Box sort
kind
for
of
you.
boxes it off. It becomes its own stamp.
And then that's just a basic garage. Like people are gonna be able to understand that.
Yeah.
Let me add it.
I love it.
I-
like
add
it.
in
That's
the
why I hire
correct spelling.
creatives.
I'm impressed that you're brave enough to show your process. I've never shown anyone the process. I don't want them to see my sketches. Those are awful.
That's
It's
my
garbage.
thing. Mine are so bad that I'm like,
You know
I just
what?
might as well. I don't spell everything correctly. I do have my,
That's all right.
I've got the things that I'm very bad at, but I also play on my strengths. Gary Vee lesson, play on your strengths. I think everybody talks about that, but this is what it would look like.
These logos are really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
it's
we
simple.
Done
if we
trademark.
tweak the alignment there so that it's kind of a complete box to the
Yeah.
right there, and just makes
Oh,
it.
see, because
Yeah, just so those line up, because I think the door here lines up with that E, and maybe we just need
you think we expand this,
or make it bold, make it a little bolder, so the hustle is like the emphasis.
Let's see what we got
I'm gonna just ad lib here a little bit. Working with James, I met James 2-3 years ago. Friend of a friend said, "Oh, you need a logo? I want to go out on my own. Talk to this guy." We connected with this idea. I probably
Yeah.
spun some crazy idea.
It
That
started with photos. That's you need.
photos
You
of
needed
me,
new
right? 'Cause
photos.
Everyone
and
needs
it
a
went
good
from there.
headshot.
Yeah.
But then I probably threw this idea about someday I'm gonna do this. I didn't even have a name for it yet. I didn't even know what I was calling it. The foundation company is what was rolling around in my head for what this was. And then I found the property, and James was working at corporate America, and things didn't work out for them or James there. And it just came together back in, how'd that day work?
Literally, gosh, make me say it on camera, but it was a Monday morning. I went into work, corporate America. We don't have to talk about that, but Monday morning, literally the Sunday before, I'm like, I need to figure out an escape plan from this place. And Monday morning, I go about my normal morning routine of doing work, get pulled into a conference room, get let go, so I got fired. That afternoon, I already had lunch scheduled with Brent, and so I walked in, or he actually showed up because I was there early, I had nothing else to do, and I asked how I was doing. I was like, if we had breakfast today, this conversation would be a lot different, but because it's lunch, and he looked at me, he was like, what did you do, get fired? And we just started laughing.
I think I knew. I didn't ask.
And it was just the perfect timing for everything. I couldn't have planned my life to fall around that way.
And it was great timing for me because I had this need. Finally, I bought the building here in September, and it was just coming together. And I was hoping James might be available. I could borrow a couple hours of his time each week, knowing he went to the dark side to corporate America, and it just worked out. And here we are building this together.
And
it's great.
that's kind of a good opportunity to talk about it, because before I only worked corporate America for just over a year, but I think the motivating factor for me to choose to take a salaried 9-to-5 job was fear. I was afraid of not being able to provide for my family, afraid of not having benefits or whatever it was, and it ended up being actually the most risky move to choose the safe job. That was actually the highest risk, because not only was I kind of siphoning myself into this one kind of position, but also I was killing off all of the things that made me come alive. And there's just so much more that comes out of addressing that fear, looking it right in the eye and saying it doesn't matter. The dreams I have, the passion I have, it's much bigger than any fear.
That's huge. We should call it corporate America on the show, the dark side.
The dark side.
Anytime someone's like
It
talks
is
about
the dark
corporate
side.
America, like the dark
So
side.
the dark side always,
Although we will take your sponsorships. So.
100%.
quick plug, any sponsorships.
Because you can learn from us as much as we can learn from you.
The thing is, I don't think if you are corporate America, you don't call yourself corporate America. You think of yourself as probably an
Well, I
entrepreneur.
think that's why entrepreneur is such a buzzword, because everyone's
Right.
using it to be trendy. Because what does it do? It attracts the younger generation
Right.
who wants to be trendy. So what do we want to do, right? And I see it in my industry. There's very few big firms because it's hard on one avenue, they'll beat the table and they'll say, we're 120 years old. And the other company will say, well, we're 125 years old. Well, we're 130 years old. You want to work with us because we've done it the same way for 130 years. I'm looking at it saying, don't ever sign me up for those guys. I don't want to do it the way they did it yesterday. I want to be creative in the way I'm going to do it and think about it, how I'm going to do it tomorrow. And now with technology finally affecting our industry, it's everyone saying, well, how do we get on that bandwagon? How do we become young and entrepreneurial? How do we become tech savvy in the construction industry when you still have to lay 2 bricks with a mortar and a tool?
This is it.
Done.
This is it.
I just made hustle a little
We
bit
did pretty
bigger.
good. I felt like we filled in while you were
definitely
working.
filled it in because I'm glad that I was able to actually do it here too. I wish I screen recorded.
I love
That would have
it.
been
I
sick
love
to like have
we,
both
like-
up.
Oh, you
Should this will be. You'll put this on there.
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen.
The Garage Hustle.
The garage.
Just like that, we have a name.
Yeah.
So the Garage
Maybe
Hustle.
we don't title it anything, and then after this we start titling. I don't know. That won't work because the YouTube channel has to have.
Yeah, you have to have the title.
Yeah, but they'll know that this is how it came up. Legit, right here and there. We've got audience members to even tell you.
What's our time? How much time do we?
I don't know what our time
we're
is.
probably pushing-
Cameraman? 15? Okay.
Yeah, that's
so
perfect.
I think because we want to do this on a semi-consistent basis, we'll be able to talk about our story in another one. But again, I guess our goal is to really inspire, inform, let people who are also creatives understand that there's other entrepreneurs here in the city. Stay tuned, follow us, follow the different companies. We'll put the hashtags, usernames at the end of the video so that everybody will be able to stay tuned. But anything else that we need to include in this episode, you guys think?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think it
Yeah.
all started by somebody walking up saying it was a cool building 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
We started talking. We found similarities of what our passions are, and here we are today. So I think it's a great ideology of what entrepreneurialism should be. I mean, even this, it might not make any money,
Yeah.
but that's not what entrepreneurialism is all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely comment, share, and like. Please comment, even if it's a bad one. I like the bad comments. I want somebody to troll. It'd be cool to have a troll where somebody's just like
Bashing us, ripping us a new one.
He kept, he's with his mouth, and it was so annoying. Yeah, talk about me. Go ahead.
like the logo.
Yeah, I
James
don't like
talked
the
too
logo.
much and he sounds dumb.
Yeah, talk about us. Go ahead. But thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.
Thanks.
Do we do that?
I don't know. We need like a tagline to end.
We gotta sign off.
And love you. I don't know. I think that's perfect.